December the 4th be with you. It's like May the 4th be with you, which is like May the Force be with you. It's a good joke. In honor of the holiday season, I decided that I wanted to watch a Star Wars thing that might have to do with the holidays. So I'm, of course, not going to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. I don't hate myself. No, I found this episode from Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 1, Trespass. This episode takes place on an ice planet, so it's like, great, let's go in and let's see what this episode's about. Anakin and Obi-Wan go to an ice planet thought to be uninhabited where a clone base has stopped communicating. They go there, they think maybe the Separatists were involved, but then they find that there was a Separatist base on the planet, but that the droids there have all been destroyed in the same way, with their heads on spikes, just like how the clone helmets were left on spikes. Anakin and Obi-Wan go scouting and discover that the planet is not, in fact, uninhabited, but that there is a people, the Tall, living there who just want to be left alone. Anakin and Obi-Wan manage to begin the foundations of peace with them, even getting a hug from the chief by the time that they leave. But then the Pantoran Prime Minister? I forget what his title was. The Pantoran colonizer in charge says, but this barren ice planet is ours, it's mine, I'll die for my people. These savages have gotta go. Sorry, I didn't mean to point at you like that, Bruno baby. So, we have a clear message here of colonizing, bad. Warmongering, bad. All such simple concepts, but sometimes it's easy to forget, to get wrapped up in Star Wars, the Clone Wars, that the message overall of Star Wars that George Lucas always intended was that war is bad, especially pointless war. The war fought in the original trilogy, the rebellion rising against the Empire, is a justified war because you have to fight for what is good and to fight against fascist regimes that would take rights away from oppressed people. But contrast that with the Clone Wars, which was, at the end of the day, a pointless war that resulted in deaths and tragedy, all of which was orchestrated by one dude, Darth Sidious, the head Sith, the person that represents the dark side and evil. And it led to his rise to power and the corruption and fall of the galaxy. So, I mean, it's not that much of a stretch to say that, yeah, war is not great in Star Wars. Even going past in this episode the idea that, yeah, this war was pointless, it's just one dude being an asshole and saying, oh, these people can't have their planet, it's mine. We even get a little bit of the ideas of the original trilogy, which is to fight against corrupt leadership in the younger senator, who at the beginning of this episode says, look, the chancellors, or the prime minister, the head colonizer is in charge. I'm just an inexperienced senator. Even when I'm seeing evidence that he's wrong, he's in charge. I have to defer to him. But then later on in the episode, when formal war has been declared, Anakin and Obi-Wan are like, look, is there anyone with the authority to override his bad decision? And she has to start taking matters into her own hands to do what's right. She contacts the correct authorities, she gets the approval that, yes, this war is dumb and bad, go stop it, please, Senator. And then when she has that authority and she arrives on the scene to try to make peace with the Tall people, she asks Obi-Wan, look, you have more experience, can you do it? And he says, look, your people are the ones that were in the wrong here. If there's going to be peace, you have to be the one to do it. Even though you, Senator, didn't make the mistake, you have to own up to the mistakes of your people and make it right. And I just think that these lessons are great. Timeless, clear reflections on colonialism in the real world. It's no secret that George Lucas was very much against the Vietnam War, so some parallelisms there. And also a possible extrapolation that for Native Americans in the United States of America, that like, look, we did some bad things, some horrible genocidal things to these people just because we thought we could. We wanted the colonizers from Europe wanted this land, so they took it. And yeah, it wasn't us that did it, but we still need to own up to the mistakes of our people to make things right. So I love me some political messaging in Star Wars. I think that this one not just because it's on an ice planet, and it's got the clone troopers in kind of snow trooper armor from Empire Strikes Back, and it's got our heroes in like jackety jumpsuits, which I've always loved because The Empire Strikes Back is my favorite movie and I've loved it since I was a kid. So that's why I went in watching this episode, but I got a message of peace and of decolonialization, and it's hard to top that in terms of the holiday spirit for me. So I enjoyed this episode. It was a little hard to watch just because the head colonizer is so goddamn irritating. I just wanted him dead earlier. I'm glad he eventually died, but I wanted him dead earlier. And the like one nitpick that I have with this episode is how in the hell does C-3PO speak the same language as the Tall if they're first being discovered and he hasn't had any chance to learn their language? But you know, we've got a 20-minute episode, we've got a little bit of ground to cover here, so I can forgive it, but I'm still like, how? So those are my thoughts on the Star Wars The Clone Wars episode Trespass. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. Have a good week.